Hello everyone. Today, we'll be doing a cold and dark startup on the A-18C Hornet. This is a beautiful fighter jet, and I'm sure you'll love it even more once you learn it. Do not worry. This airplane is easy to start up. Just repeat this video as many times as you want and you'll understand the concept. This is the beautiful cockpit in all its glory. One thing I want you to note is that I don't want you to memorize the steps, but rather understand them. It's harder to forget something that you understand. This will also allow you to do the startup sequence in whichever way works best for you. Alright, enough talking, let's start flipping switches. The first thing to do is to provide electrical current to the aircraft. So we must turn on the battery first. Remember that the battery itself is not enough power to start up the engines. And the battery itself will drain. So down here to our right you can locate the battery. One right click to put it in the on position. As you can see and hear, some lights have illuminated and you can hear the sound of the electrical current. The next thing to do is to test our fire systems. We have system A and B. We'll start by testing system A first. Click and hold to test. You will hear Betty cycle through the audible warning advisories.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
As soon as you hear bleed air right twice, let go of the switch and wait about 15 seconds to let the tape rewind. Alright, let's do system B now.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Great, so now we can move on. Now we need to aid the battery to provide better, stronger electrical current, as well as lots of air to spin the turbines for engine start. So now comes the APU, or the auxiliary power unit. Turn on the APU and wait for the green ready light to illuminate. It will get really loud, so I will close the canopy so you can hear me. Much better. So now the APU is ready to start the engines. But before we do, let's get our displays ready. Simply twist these knobs and once the engines start they will come to life. Okay, ready for engine start. Things will happen fast from here, so please pay attention. First, crank the right engine. Then wait for the RPMs to reach 20. Then move the right throttle lever to idle. That will introduce fuel into the combustion chamber and further start the engines. Very soon you will see the screens come to life, and also hear Betty do more audible tests.
Roll left, roll left. Flight controls. Flight controls.
There you go. Also the HUD is a bit too bright, so let's dim it a little bit. Now we can start setting up our left and right DDIs. So I will put the HUD page here on the left. Put the radar to standby. Also, we need to align the INS so that we have full functionality of our navigation systems, weapons, etc. So put it to the ground position and on this screen, press Stored Heading to begin the alignment process. On the right DDII will go to the flight controls page to show you something. All these X's are indications that there are errors with the flight controls. So we need to clear and reset those, by going here and clicking these two buttons like this. They're gone. Okay, cool. Moving on. Now we need to start up the left engine. So do the same steps we did previously. And since we're here, we can turn on our position lights. Also, the color map just came on. So for better clarity of the display, I will turn off the color map by clicking mode twice. Also, to show the route for today, you can click waypoint. Then sequence 1. Notice the small OK sign just came up. That means our INS alignment is done and we can put the INS switch to in-flight alignment. Both engines are started and the APU will automatically shut off. Electricity and air is now being provided by the engines. So now doing a quick check around the cockpit. Turn on the oxygen mask. Set your hook bypass to field since we are at an airfield, not a carrier. Put the flaps up so we can do a flight controls test later. Set your bingo fuel as required. This will warn you when you have to return to base due to fuel left. As you can see, we have a warning light illuminated, and is due to left and right bleed air valves being closed. When we did the fire test for system A and B, the bleed air valves automatically closed. So we must reopen them by rotating this knob 360 degrees. Now I will turn on our RWR and the flares and chaff to bypass. Don't forget to uncage the artificial horizon. Set your radar altimeter. I like setting it somewhere around 400 feet. You can also turn on some cockpit lights if you wish. And test all your lights in the cockpit. Make sure they're all working. You can set your radar to operate. Don't worry. This is a simulator, you will not fry anybody. Now you can tighten your seat straps and adjust your seat. I will do a flight controls test now. So go to the built-in test page, or BIT. Then select FCS page, and hold the Y key and press this button to test. Flight controls are now articulating themselves and getting tested. You can also check your different pages and make sure everything looks good. I will now lower the flaps. One last check around the cockpit. Alright, the Hornet is all up and running. So we can finally start taxiing to the runway. Remove parking brake and slowly advance the throttles. Then check the brakes and steering. You can also change between nose wheel steering and high nose wheel steering for greater steering angles. This is it for this video. I hope it helps you. This is AngelsTwoSix. It is my first video in this channel, so I would really appreciate if you show some love by liking and subscribing. Thank you all, and see you in the next one.